First on BBC One, Premier League football in Match of the Day with Desmond Lynham.
Good evening. The FA Carling Premiership's really delivering for us this season. With 5 games to go, we don't know who's going down, we don't know who's staying up, and we don't know who's winning in this at the moment. So will tonight's episode answer any of those questions? Well, Man United and Arsenal are going toe-to-toe. We'll bring you all the reaction from their 2 big games at the top of the Premiership. We focus on survival today. Barnsley had a difficult trip to St James's Park. Could the Yorkshire side produce a mini miracle?
Spreading it wide for speed, and that's an instant ball in to Alan Shearer with a chance. It's Shearer! It hit Moses in the face, I think. I don't know how much he knew about it. Buatov comes away with it, and Lee got the challenge in, and Shearer hits it from distance.
Everton have been on freefall, and Wimbledon aren't entirely safe at the moment. The 2 met at Selhurst Park.
Slides forward for Wimbledon, midway through the first half. Yule's cross, Harford's header.
We have all the goals from this weekend in the Premiership. And of course, Trevor and Trevor are with us. But first and foremost, we'll start at the very top of the Premiership. Arsenal travel to Blackburn Rovers, Manchester United travel to Aston Villa. Could Ewood Park and Villa Park prove to be the stage in which either side slipped up in the title race? Trev Sinstat reviews. Manchester United knew a win was vital against Aston Villa if they were to progress in their title challenge against Arsenal. And they nearly got off to an excellent start. Poor clearance by Mark Bosnich was tapped in by Scholes. Sheringham saw off his line, but Bosnich responded to make an excellent stop. There were chances in the game. United kept creating them but were unable to take them. Beckham's ball was crossed into Sheringham, eventually cleared by Gareth Southgate. Solskjaer's effort was blocked. Nicky Butt picked the ball up and then suddenly realised Solskjaer had found a little gap through. 1 touch for the Norwegian, and it was 1-0 Manchester United. United are certainly on the back foot, and goals would have been helpful for them to maintain their challenge against Arsenal. But the truth being told in this one here, they were lucky to win 1-0. One thing they'll be without is Dennis Irwin. His red card meant he will be suspended for the final 3 games of the season, and Manchester United looks like they're going to have to do it the hard way. Arsenal continued up their challenge against Blackburn Rovers and went top of their Premiership and was able to enhance their goal difference. But the performance itself was certainly one to admire. The chances arrived. Ray Parlour perhaps should have scored this effort that was straight at Tim Flowers. There were efforts indeed for Blackburn Rovers. McKinley's strike had to be well saved by David Seaman. But the goal that broke the difference was an excellent one. It was good work on the right. The ball in was fantastic, but the finish was absolutely world class from Nikola Anelka, who gave Arsenal a priceless lead, a lead they were not to yield for the rest of the game. Arsenal continued to put the pressure on in the second half, and despite some dodgy moments, were able to go ahead and create yet another goal-scoring chance. Parlour's great work, another block clearance. Parlour got the ball in again. Overmars' radar was off. Yep, don't worry, Mark, we won't show a replay of that. The second goal that finished off was more work down the right again. This time it was Dennis Bergkamp with the cross. This time it was a beautiful finish from Nikola Anelka again. A brace from the man that's tipped to Ian Wright next season, who could be on his way out of Arsenal. Anelka himself sheer delighted as Arsenal won this one 2-0 and went top of the Premiership. Well, that being said, they're both level at the top. Slightly better goal difference for Arsenal, Trevor. Who do you see winning the Premiership with now 4 games to go? I look at the games coming up and I think there's a lot of winnable games out there. I think one of the factors to say is I think Manchester United have got the tougher run in. They've got a massive midweek game at Newcastle United, and then they've also got Leeds United. And, Newcastle Leeds, they'll definitely want to get one over Man United. I think it's been a bit of a factor that Arsenal have looked a little more comfortable and have got a bit between their teeth, so to speak, so I'd probably say Arsenal at this standpoint. Well, Trevor, what about your views? Who's going to win the FA Carling Premiership? I don't know. I think there'll be points dropped off. I think no game's an easy game at this standpoint, and the one thing Man United have is the experience. But in terms of experienced players, Arsenal do have some more established veterans. United have got a much more younger squad, but they're a younger squad which is used to winning. So there always comes a point in youth football where suddenly the fear can strike, and that ability to play naturally can suddenly disappear for no reason whatsoever. And that could be a worry, but I'm going to have to agree with Trevor. I kind of think from this point Arsenal, and I think it might even go to goal difference. Well, 4 games to go that happens for those, and as for who stays in the Premiership, well, that's as tight as it's ever been at the moment. The Crazy Gang aren't completely safe at the moment, and their form has suffered in the latter half of this season. Wimbledon know that their opponents today, Everton, are a side which has just started their resurgence. Could Howard Kendall's Everton provide the great escape? Trev Motson picks up the story.
As we edge ever closer to the end of the Premiership season, could one of these two teams be waving goodbye to the division? Victories in their last matches has certainly buoyed hope. However, Everton's situation remains perilous, and they'll be looking to channel the spirit of 1994 in that famous survival win over today's opponents. Mick Harford set up Kyle Court's winner at Southampton last week, and they start up front today. Once again, Joe Kinnear's Crazy Gang set up in a 4-4-2 formation. 5 points adrift from safety, here are the 11 players tasked with getting another vital 3 points for Everton. Barnsley and Ferguson scored last week, but as the matches tick by, there is little margin for error for Howard Kendall's side. Knocked down to Earl. The skipper. Kennedy. Now Mick Harford. Let's fly from the edge of the area. And it drifts wide of Paul Gerrard's right-hand post. The home team starting on the front foot though. Harford got a shot away. Chris Perry strides forward for Wimbledon. Midway through the first half. Yule's cross. Harford's header goes over the crossbar, but Mick Harford is becoming a bit of a nuisance for that Everton defence. Already he's managed to get a couple of efforts towards goal. Kennedy. Harford beaten in the air. And Everton look to attack. Mikhail Madar. Oh, what a strike that was! And what a goal it would have been. Yule and Kadamatri going for the ball. Everton win possession. Ferguson's header. Mikhail Madar! Inches over the crossbar. The Frenchman has been a shining light in Everton's season. Good knockdown by Ferguson. Madar's effort. Earl. This is Hutchison for Everton. Once again, Ferguson is the target, and Madar probably had time to take a touch. It was a difficult opportunity. Everton growing into the contest though. Madar. Kadamatri, the teenager. Cunningham comes across and concedes a corner. The visiting supporters growing in belief here. John Oster. Barnby. Wrapped up that win against Leeds last weekend. Looking to turn provider here. Ferguson's header. And again it's off target. Chances at both ends. But both goalkeepers remaining untroubled. Sullivan gets the ball downfield. Harford. Good front play. And Court finds Yule on the right hand side. What can he do for Wimbledon? Jason Yule. Neil Ardley looks up. And can't get past Hutchison, who fouled his man. That does look a little bit harsh on Don Hutchison. He got the ball, and Everton rightly feeling aggrieved there. And it's a free kick for Wimbledon. Earl and Ardley over it. Ardley hits the wall. Kimball. Back to Ardley. Robbie Earl. Kimball. Kennedy. Kimball. Corner. Much better from Wimbledon. Will be Robbie Earl's corner as we approach the hour mark at Selhurst Park. Harford! Hits the side netting. Got above his man. But couldn't direct his effort on target. Kennedy into Harford. Robbie Earl will be linking up with Jamaica at the World Cup this summer, barring injury. Ardley picks up the pieces. Court. And Mick Harford once again comes within inches of opening the scoring. He's been excellent. His finishing has let him down a little, but he has been the focal point all afternoon. Short plays it long to Ferguson. Now Spencer. Throw into Everton. A draw really isn't good enough for the visitors. They need a win, and Barnby wins a corner. 10 minutes remaining. And the pocket of Everton fans in that corner cheering on Nick Barnby as he prepares to take the corner. Ardley comes away with the ball for Wimbledon. That's good play by Phelan to win possession back. Branch. Barnby! The ball whistles wide. Another chance goes begging. And still all afternoon we haven't seen a save. Less than 5 minutes remaining. A draw will suit Wimbledon. A win would be even better, but Earl has lost possession. Spencer, Branch, brilliant block, comes to Hutchison, takes a deflection, and Sullivan clutches the ball. Ferguson beaten in the air, but here's Barnby. Now Craig short. Spencer, lovely flick. Ferguson, Barnby! Wins it for Everton, right at the death. It's a priceless finish from Everton's most expensive player. He scored in the last minute last weekend, And he's repeated the trick today. Lovely football by Everton, 2 back heels, and Barnsley showed the composure that no one else has been able to produce all afternoon. Ferguson's flick through the legs of Thatcher, and there was Barnsley to win the game. A huge 3 points for Everton. Breathes further life into their survival hopes. Just as Wimbledon thought they were getting away from the relegation zone, they have been sucked right back into it following defeat this afternoon. For Everton, 2 wins on the spin sees them dreaming of another great escape. They've won at Wimbledon 1-0.
Well, what about that? Thought we were getting a goalless draw, and the goal which won it for Everton was just quite astonishing, wasn't it? Was an excellent goal. 2 back heels, 1 through a defender's leg. The finish from Barnsley is as emphatic I think you can get. You got a sense as the game was wearing on that potentially Everton were the more likely of the two to get a breakthrough. I think they've had some efforts. I think Duncan Ferguson was a bit of an unsung hero. Threw himself out there, was a real target man for them today. I think Maidar's finishing was off. That was a real factor today, but when you score a goal as good as that, what can you say? Well, from Barnsley's standpoint, their first season in top-flight football, they stand a chance of having another one. Newcastle United were their opponents in St James's Park, where at the moment, Newcastle United's form suggests that unless Alan Shearer scores, they won't. Could Barnsley stop him? Could they get a vital 3 points? Picking the commentator up for us is Trev Champion.
It's more about Barnsley's fate today at St James's Park. Newcastle, who are looking to finish a fairly standard mid-table place, are just hoping to finish with a flourish to give the fans something to cheer about. But Barnsley 3 points away from safety, with quite a cluster of teams down there fighting it out. It was a blanket of defeats for all the relegation sides last week. Newcastle start as expected with a strong lineup, with Tamuri Ketsbaya playing the right side. Barnsley put their faith in Jan-Åge Fjørtoft and Ashley Ward up front today in the hope that their defence can stay strong. They only conceded 1 goal last time, but that could well be enough once again today. Lee spreading it wide for speed, and that's an instant ball in to Alan Shearer with a chance. It's Shearer! It hit Moses in the face, I think. I don't know how much he knew about it. Fjørtoft comes away with it, and Lee got the challenge in, and Shearer hits it from distance. He looks in the mood today. The goal away at Highbury last week may not have been significant to the result, but certainly in terms of his personal form, it may well be crucial. Given out to Barton. Ketsbaya now. It's a good challenge by Jones. Hooked it away. Plays it long for Ward, holding off Albert, and Lee got a trip in there, and I think the referee may be issuing a card. Here he is. It's an early yellow card for Rob Lee. Referee seeing that as a professional foul there. That's quite a blatant trip by Lee, and it's going to be a free kick that Redfern will take. Floated it up towards Fjørtoft, who got the head on it. Down for Ashley Ward! It's early doors, but it's a big goal in the relegation battle. It could decide who stays in the Premiership next season. But Ashley Ward, who has had 1 chance today and has taken it immediately, and Barnsley are in front at St James's Park. It's floated in, Fjørtoft got a good leap, and Ward with a strong left foot hit. Given had no chance, and Barnsley are in position here. One touch to control, another to set up, and a fine strike. 1-0. Barnard floating it in. Oh, and Fjortoft's in! And Fjortoft! And that's a fantastic save by Shay Given. It had to be. Still the danger, though. Barnard again. Warren Barton trying to get close to him, as is Ketspire. Jones blocked off by Lee, who's got to be careful on a yellow. Sheridan, and he's dispossessed. Referee waves play on, but what a chance this was. Fjortoft, he got a little lucky. And that's a superb stop. Strong fists. Batty may want to shoot from here. He has done before, but he's seen Ketspire in a better position. And Anderson on the turn. Good stop by Watson. Been a little bit of a lull for Newcastle in the last 10 minutes, but that's a fine hit. Struck it early, but Watson wasn't to be fooled. Turning it round the post. We said that Barnsley only losing by the singular goal the other week, but it was a home game and the type of match that Barnsley need to be picking up points in. They are not expected to win this, but they may just. Fjortoft, and he strikes it across the goal, and Gibbon was never troubled. Newcastle, who may be 10th in the league at this current time, but their football has been lauded this season as entertaining and something to watch for next year. And Barnsley, you could say, are overachieving at the moment. Long ball looking for Fjortoft, who's won that aerial duel today, but he couldn't get enough of the head on that. Here's Barton for Ketspire. Lee, Newcastle have moved it round well. Anderson, he's going to find his way through for Lee, and Shearer! It's a good save, and Ketspire and Anderson were following up, but Shearer finding himself in a good position again, and that's another good stop from Watson. Newcastle's number 9 will feel he could have done better. Thomason is coming on here for Anderson to freshen things up a little for Newcastle. Lovely ball. Gillespie looking for the space. He's found it. That's a good tackle by Hendry. And Ward misjudged his first touch completely there. It's going to come back for Albert. Out to Barton. Ketspire, instant control. Lee looked to be tripped there. Was he? Yes, it's a free kick. Referee agrees. Just that little touch out of his feet. And Sheridan was wrong-footed by that and concedes. Alan Shearer standing over this. It's going to be Shearer. It's going to be a brilliant goal. Oh, St James's Park has erupted. Alan Shearer finding a fine strike from a free kick to open his account for Newcastle last season from the left-hand side, has done it from the right, that deadly right foot. Watson had no chance, clipping the underside of the crossbar. He couldn't have placed it any better, and Newcastle have put a dent in Barnsley's fight for survival. Gotta think the momentum is going to be with Newcastle now. Barnsley just have to try and regroup. Jones, Sheridan, Barnard. Looking long for Ward this time, and he wins the header, but Fjortoft's looking a little leggy up there at the moment. Oh, the referee's pulled it back. Ward on the jump, and there's just an elbow there. And this could be a chance for Barnsley as you're looking at 30 to 35 yards out. It's Neil Redfern with the left foot over the wall and off the crossbar. A lick of paint away for Barnsley. It's a beautiful strike. Whether given added Crawford remains a debate. It's in for Thomason, who's let it run across him. Thomason! Wide, and Newcastle almost breaking Barnsley's hearts. A draw is not ideal, but quite obviously preferable to leaving with nothing. Thomason just couldn't get his right foot around it. Referee still looking at his watch here. Cross comes in, looking for Hendry. It's cleared. Lee just trying to hold on to it. Newcastle at this stage will probably be happy with the point. Going to come back for Sheridan. He's looking long for Fjordtoft. Is it going to work this time? No, Given got a good punch. Little collision, but the referee blows the final whistle. And it's all square at St James's Park. It does Barnsley really not a tremendous amount of favours. Newcastle, with nothing to play for really, can be happy with their performance, and a fine goal from Alan Shearer. But at St James's Park, it's left for Barnsley to rue what could have been. It's Newcastle 1, Barnsley 1.
Well, Trevor, a bit of a heartbreaker for Barnsley in the end, but it's got to be good news for England that Shearer's scoring. I agree with you. I thought Shearer had a very good game, to be fair, and he's just got a little bit between him in terms of being able to take his chances and really go for it. So it's good work from Alan Shearer. It's really good play. But I think Barnsley will be disappointed that, they scored early, and I got the sense they were trying to win 1-0. And I think there was more goals for them today. I think ambition perhaps got the better of them and probably did more of the damage. Well, before we take a look at the table, let's show you all the other goals that took place this week in the Premiership. Leeds continued to put misery on Chelsea, whose end of season form is a real shame for a side back in February was challenged for the Championship. Hasselbank and Wallace were able to combine, and Wallace's brilliant finish gave Leeds United the lead. 30-odd million people watched their cup final replay back in 1970. Here today there wasn't as many that were watching in a global television audience. What they did see though was the emergence of a striking talent for Chelsea, as Torre Andre Flo continued to get his 15th goal of the season. As Leeds United pushed forward, they were able to break Chelsea open, as the confidence and perhaps the weight of old has fallen out of Chelsea, knowing they've got a UEFA Cup Winners' Cup final to come. The goal itself that put Leeds in it was a brilliant finish by Ian Hart when he was played through. And the third goal for Leeds United was more good play again. Hopkins' ball was able to find Harry Kewell, and Kewell's effort was too good past Ed Tahoe, and the Australian with a cool finish, and Leeds United with a big win at home. A thriller at Hillsborough between Wednesday and West Ham United. West Ham themselves haven't travelled terribly well this season, but showed they definitely got something about them, as Harry Redknapp is quietly going about assembling a squad that could be very exciting for the future. Young Frank Lampard got the opening goal for them, and there was an effort in a moment when Nicholas Anderson playing through, Ludwig McCloskey making an excellent save to deny him. And then the goal of the match. Lampard's free kick, Hartson on the touch. Look about this for a first time left-footed volley. Absolutely to die for. 2-0 to the Hammers. But then Wednesday staged a fight back, and no surprise who it came from. Di Canio and Carboni have been the striking partnership which has impressed so much this season, and that was the case here. Carboni's brilliant strike was able to bring Sheffield Wednesday hope, and as the clock ticked over into the 90th minute, it was all gun-ho for Wednesday. Even Des Walker was playing up front, although his finishing wasn't up to much. Pembrokeshire's effort was incredibly unlucky, but it was Carboni on the spot again to equalise for this one and get an excellent point for Wednesday that probably secures their Premiership survival. Liverpool continued their winning ways against a Crystal Palace side that's staring relegation in the face. But after the opening goal scored by Rodgers, you thought it might be a different story. And Crystal Palace might have thought it was their day, as Liverpool's finishing showed a little bit to desire in the Dane. Michael Owen's radar was off. But there were still chances for Liverpool to make their moments on goal. Fowler and McManaman combined brilliantly here. Owen's coolness under pressure showed Liverpool's top scorer equalised for them. And there were still chances for Liverpool to win the game. Steve McManaman found his way through. just a lick of paint away from making it 2-1. More chances will arrive in the second half for Liverpool, who kept going and played some excellent football. Ovik Lidharsen just wasn't supply the finish perhaps that was deserved. But there was a chance to get a winning goal. Jamie Redknapp's excellent through ball was brilliantly controlled by Michael Owen to deceive the Crystal Palace offside trap and rolled the ball in comfortably, coolly to make it 19 for the season and to make it 2-1 to Liverpool, and might have condemned Crystal Palace to the First Division. Since his move from Leeds United, Gary McAllister has the ability to do something truly special for Coventry City, and did so here at White Hart Lane with a stunning free kick that Ian Walker in the Spurs goal never even moved for. Coventry continued to put pressure on Spurs' defence, and as much as they tried, cracks were showing. Sol Campbell, unsurprisingly, was dispossessed, and when the ball broke back into the middle, it was real chaos until eventually Darren Anderton lost it to Dion Dublin inside of the post and away. And Spurs' luck played out, as eventually in the second half they were able to get an equaliser. Darren Anderton, looking like he's got a place in the England squad, has Les Ferdinand got a chance. His effort was brilliantly saved by Hedman. Stefan Everson was online to roll the ball into an empty net and to get a priceless equaliser for Spurs. Bolton Wanderers know if they are to stay up, they've really got to pick up their form, but it wasn't helped in which a performance in which they were truly outcast by Derby County. Paolo Wanchop's ball into Lee Carsley made it 1-0. The second arrived with good play from Dion Burton and Wanchop, and Burton was able to waltz clear of any purple shirts, and a brilliant finish. Brannigan may not want to watch that again, but certainly here today a player that won't want to watch that was Mark Fish. Dispossessed by Dion Burton, that charged his way through, an excellent ball into the box, a class finish by Paolo Wanchop to make it 3. 4-0 arrived from good play again from Carsley, Wanchop, and then look at this finish from Dion Burton. A curling effort Brannigan could get nowhere near. A huge win for Derby, a real setback in Bolton Wanderers' relegation survival hopes. A thriller took place at Filbert Street between Leicester City and Southampton, attacking football with its finest quality, not a hint of defending. Theo Zaharakis was able to find the mark and go ahead and give Leicester City the lead. The second goal was good play, but Benani may not want to watch this again. Dispossessed by Muzzy Izzet, a pass back for Tony Cottee to score from inside the 6-yard box, a place he absolutely thrives. In the second half, Emil Heskey's brilliant header, which should have been cleared off the line, made it 3-0 to Leicester City and looked set to give them all 3 points. And then came the key moment of the match. Guppy's cross wasn't correctly cleared. Eventually the ball broke in the end to Emil Heskey. His effort struck the woodwork. Incredibly, it bounced back off Jones and went past the post. This seemed to spur Southampton on, but after a couple of substitutions found an informed David Hurst to round the goalkeeper and make it 3-1. 20 minutes to go. 8 minutes to go, it was 3-2. A cross on the right from Dodds, a header in from Hurst, in off the post, and suddenly Southampton were really believing. And then came the key moment of the match. It was an opportunity for Hurst that found his way through, and an unstoppable finish that could not be stopped at all. A brilliant hat-trick for Hurst, real disappointing for Leicester City, who really will feel like they've dropped more than 3 points at home. So top of the table, Arsenal and Manchester United are tied at 71 points each. Chelsea remain 11 points behind, mathematically still in the Championship just, but in reality it's a 2-horse race now. Arsenal's goal difference is only +3 at the moment. Aston Villa's miraculous climb means despite the defeat they remain 6th and in European places. Despite Everton's win and Barnsley's draw, they both remain in the relegation point, with Bolton Wanderers and Wimbledon sitting above them. Looks as if Southampton are probably safe at the moment. Crystal Palace, 6 points behind, are still in the Premiership, but just. So, we asked at the beginning of the programme, will we be able to tell you who's staying, who's going and who's winning? And the answer was an emphatic no. Ambitious but rubbish. Cheerio. thank you for watching here this match on Trevor Sports. If you've liked it, please don't be afraid to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And if you do fancy it, head on over to Ko-fi. The link is in the description. Buy me a coffee for all the hard work. Further than that, make sure you enjoy more games coming up.